So if you have never used Elementor in your entire life to design a website before, this video is for you, because I'm about to walk you through step by step how to use Elementor Page Builder to design any kind of a website in WordPress. If you're coming across my channel for the very first time, I am Faith. I'm a digital marketer and a web designer. And on this channel, I teach complete beginners how to design websites with WordPress, Elementor, and WooCommerce. So I'm going to walk you through the entire process. So if this is your first time designing with Elementor, make sure you watch this video till the end. To design with Elementor, the first thing you have to do is to come to your WordPress admin dashboard, log in. I've already logged in, and on this channel I've made series of videos on how to install WordPress on your hosting server, the whole WordPress interface explanation, how to create pages and all of that. Please consider watching a playlist on this channel that talks about WordPress tutorial for beginners. It will teach you how to start from the very basics to the point where we are now, and we still continue till you are able to master WordPress. So what you will do now is just to create a page. I'm going to hover around pages, click on add a page. So the second thing we have to do is to name our page. What is the name we're giving our page? Home 2. I want to give it Home 2. So the next thing we're going to do, which is the third thing, is to edit with Elementor this time around, because we are trying to learn how to design with Elementor. We want to make our web page attractive. We want to make it convert. So you click on edit with Elementor. You can also publish, go back to the page to launch this, but I'm going to go straight from here. All right, click on edit with Elementor. Here is the Elementor editor. So it has actually launched the editor for us. If you look at here now, you will see a whole lot of things here. So I'm going to go back to WordPress admin dashboard. I want to disable this particular header. I don't want it to obstruct what we're doing here, so I'm going to do that. Let me just quickly do that right away. We've actually launched the Elementor editor. So as soon as you click on that edit with Elementor for any page, you will land on this interface like this. So I'm going to walk you through the entire process of everything here. So I'm going to explain everything. If you look at the left hand side, you will see elements. Under elements, you have widgets, you have globals. These are the things you will be using. Some of them are pro. Let me start with the layout. Okay, this is the container, the grid that you can always drag and drop. Whatever you drag from here, you can easily drop it here. So you have the basic, which is the heading, you have the image, you have the text, you have the video. These things here are called widgets. They are called widgets or elements. They are things that Elementor has created for you. You can actually use, and that is why it is called drag and drop. You can drag heading here, all right, drop it here, it stays there. You go back again, you can drag an image and put it here. So whatever you want to do, you can actually drag and drop it instead of writing the code yourself. You are only using widgets and elements that are made for them. If you look at here now, this is the first one, which is the element. You have the basics. These basics, or the basic, they are elements that are free for you to use, and you can see these ones here are paid. That is why they are padlocked. For you to use these ones, you have to upgrade to Elementor Pro, but don't worry, as a beginner you don't need all of that. You can build your website without even having to upgrade. I'm going to walk you through the entire process. So that's basically what you would do. So you have the general ones, you have the general here. You can drag any of them. If you need social media icons, you can actually drag social media icons here, and it stays here. These are things you'll be using to design your website. You'll be using all of them, not all of them, but the most important ones you need. Most of the times you'll be using the basic ones. That is why they always appear at the top: the text, the image, the video, the buttons. These are the ones. Let me say if I drag buttons and drop it here, it stays here. Then you can customize it. So that is basically what you see here. And let me call your attention to something. If you drag anything here, if you drag any widget here and put it here, something happens here. If you look at the left hand side, something changes here. You have content here, you have style here, you have advanced. This content here is for you to fill in information that you want to provide. The style here is for you to change the alignment, change typography. That is where you put the type of text you want, the text size and all of that. As this is big now, you can click on typography, click on this pencil icon here. You can actually make it smaller or bigger. You can slide this thing here, slide it here to make it bigger. You can bring it down. You can choose the type of font you want to use. Let's say you want to use Roboto, and you can do all of that here. You can actually put up a text stroke. If you want this text to have a stroke, just click on the pencil icon. You can actually drag it like this, and let's say I give it a color here, and this is color, stroke color. Let's say I give it red. That stroke will be red. Can you see? Let me drag it a little bit down. Can you see that this text here now has stroke? The stroke is just the line around it, around the text. You have the text shadow. Here is where you add shadow to your text. If you want to add that, it is optional. Can you see I just added shadow behind it? This is where you do this. Then you have the blend mode. You may not be using all of this at the moment, but the most important ones you'll be using is the alignment. Do you want that text to be in the middle? Do you want it to be by the left hand side? You click here. If you want it to be in the middle, you click here. That is center alignment. You have the left alignment, the center alignment, the right alignment, and you have the justify. This is what this does. So I've talked about the typography. So you can use the blend mode. You can blend it in different ways to make it look anyhow you want, but you may not be using that at this point in time. So you have the normal and the hover color. So this text, what color do you want it to appear in now that you have used this? Okay, let me fall back to what I had here. Let me drag another text so that you understand what I mean. But let me drag another text here. Let's work with this. And I was talking about the style. You see that the text it has now is black. So let's say I want to change it. I can just click here. Here, this particular icon here is for typography you have already set for yourself. The global colors you have already set for yourself. I will make a video on that, on how to set global colors in Elementor so that you can reuse it, and it's a process that can actually help you build a website faster. So you can just click here, select any color of your choice. Can you see that the text color now is red? Then you click on hover. Hover is when you click on this particular text. What color do you want it to change to? Click on hover. You select a color. Let's say I want it to change to green. I want it to change to this green. Okay, let me quickly publish it. But that is basically what it means. On hover, what color does it show? Okay, so that is basically what this particular place does. If you come to advanced, you can see layout. Under layout, you can see margin, you can see padding. Margin is the space around this particular text now. The space outside it, all right, outside this. If you can see this box here, the space outside this, if I add 10 here, let me put 10, you can see that there is a space outside it. But then padding means the space inside here. I will make a separate video on padding and margin so that you understand it better. The space within this place, can you see that this particular text is within a box? So inside that box, that's where you want to add 10. Can you see that there is a space here now? Can you see this space? This space now it has given. If I remove that, you will see that the text has wrapped itself around this line here. So that is what it means. So you can decide to change the width of this. That's the length of this. Can you see that this thing stretched from here to here? That is full width, 100% full width. But let's say I want to customize it and I choose a different width. This is custom. If you click on custom, then you can enter, let's say 50. Can you see that this line, this box that stretched to the extreme here has reduced to 50. If I take it down again, can you see? Can you see? Can you see? But if I bring it to 100, it will stretch and reach it. That is what width means. Align serif. Okay, you can actually align your text. Do you want it to be in the middle? Do you want it left? Do you want it right? So it's up to you to decide which you want. So this is the first one, layout. Under layout, after layout, you have the motion effect, you have the transform, you have the background. You want to change the background color of this particular text. You just click on classic or gradient. Gradient means two or multiple colors put together. But let me choose just one color and put a background color. Let's use black. Okay, let's put black. Can you see that the background color of this text has changed? That is what background means. So in the border, let me remove this. We don't want it. If you want to undo it, you click on clear. If you do that, let's go further to transform. Transform is just for you to make this text change however you want it. For the meantime, you may not be using this quite often, but then you have the border. Border is the line, this particular line around this text box. How do you want it to appear? Do you want it to be in solid? Can you see that the line is in solid? Do you want it broken? It will be double. Can you see? Can you see? Do you want it dotted? Can you see? So what is the color of that particular line? What color do you want to give it to? That is the border color. You select this. Let's say I want to give it this particular color. So let's give it this color. Can you see that it has assumed the color we gave it? Then the border radius. Do you want this line, the edge of this line, to be rounded, or however, let me put 60 first so that you understand. Can you see that this border now is now round? That is what it means. If you give it 20, you will see that it has actually changed, but no much difference. You won't see much difference. Let me give it like 10. Can you see how it has changed again? So that is what border radius means. So you have marks if you want to add marks, but then if you want this text to be in different forms and shapes, you can actually use it, but we don't need this. If you want to make your page responsive, if you want this text to appear on desktop, you allow it the way it is. If you want it to appear on tablet, you leave it the way it is because it's now on show. If you want it to appear on mobile portrait, that is, people that are using mobile phones will see it, you will leave it. But if I toggle this off now, people who are on desktop, who are using laptop to access your website, will not see it. So this is how to make your website responsive. If you don't want people using certain devices to see some things on your website, you use this responsive feature to hide them. Let's say this text now, I want people who are using laptop to see it, but I don't want people who are using mobile phone to see it. I just toggle it off. So if you're using mobile phone, let me toggle to mobile phone. You can see that it is highlighted. People who are using mobile phones cannot see this text anymore. And we have attributes. Attribute is a pro feature, and then CSS is where you add custom CSS, is where you add custom code. You may not be needing this at the moment. The motion effect is how you want your elements to be animated. Let's say this is scroll effect, it is pro, you won't be using them for now. Then if you want this text to be animated, maybe when someone visits your website, you want this text to jump around, you can come here and click on this. Let's say fade in, can you see? Or slide in. Let me use slide down. Can you see? That is what it does. Then the duration there, you can say slow, fast, and normal. I want to put it fast. Can you see? So once someone visits your website, this text will animate. So that is basically everything around this place. That is advanced. Advanced is where you change, you add spaces, you add alignment, and you make your web page look also good. Remember, the style is where you add color, where you add typography, and how you beautify the element you have dragged here. So for any element you drag here, whether it is text, whether it is video, or whatever element you drag from here, you'll be entitled to any of those features to edit it. So that is basically what goes on there. So you have this top bar here. If you look at the top bar here, you see that there is this 3 hamburger icon here. If you click on it, you will see site settings. This is where you will access your theme builder. This is where you set your preference. Let me click on preference. I always like to do something here, and one thing I like to do here is just to actually set this. If I want to leave this Elementor, where should I go to? I always put it to WP dashboard. That is it. That's where I want to put it. And then another thing I like to do is to toggle this on. This is Canvas quick editor. If I put it now, as you can see, if I hover around this pencil icon here, that is to click on this particular thing. There's something that normally appear here, but let me do it now. If I toggle this on, can you see? If I do this, I can easily remove any element here. But before now, if I toggle it off, I won't have it here. If I hover around this pencil icon, for me to delete this, I'll have to click like this, right click, and then click on delete. Can you see? I can click on delete by right clicking. But then that user preference, toggled on before. If I toggle it on now, can you see? I can easily remove this. I can easily duplicate this. This is duplicate. This is edit. You have three icons here. This is to remove. This is to duplicate. This is to edit. If I click on this, those three items here will appear, and you start working on that particular element. So that is that. And then this plus icon here is to add elements. If you remember what I said earlier, elements and widgets are those things that you would, they're just like tools you will always drag and drop here. So you have these page settings. If you want to set this page, all right, you want to set this page, you come here and do it. Let's say we don't want this header and footer to show up here. So what you will do here is you click on Elementor canvas. When you're designing a landing page, I will teach you in future. You don't want people who are visiting your website to see header and footer on a landing page. You can do it on a website, but on a landing page it is not needed. So you will switch to Elementor canvas. If I switch to Elementor canvas now, this particular header will disappear. The footer will disappear. Can you see? It has disappeared. I can use this page like this to build my website. So but then I have to switch back to Elementor full width. That is that. Remember, anything you do on WordPress, you must publish for you to see it live. You can always publish. If you don't publish, it will disappear when you leave. So the third one you will see here is version history. Let's say what I did before, if I want to reverse it back, can you see these are the versions of what I just did? I did social media icon duplicate. I did user preference show quick edit. I edited it. So if I want to roll back to what I did before, this particular heading I removed, if I click it back, it will come back. Can you see? It is coming back. So it's going to show me those things I removed before, and that is what version history does for you. It shows you the history of actions you have taken in Elementor on your web page like this. You will see all of this. So you can see revisions as well. Can you see? So these are the time you did whatever you did, and this is the auto save by me. You can decide to discard them. You can actually apply them. If you click on it now, it will bring you back to where you were before. Okay, this is what I was trying to explain before. So you see those things I deleted, they have come back. So if you click on this one now, what I did at that time will come back. So that is the version history I was talking about. These actions will show you the actions you have taken on your page. The revisions will show you the time when those actions occurred. So it is not left for you to roll back, or you just want to exit. So if I want to go back to where I was before now, just click on this one. It will remove the elements that were not here before. So we'll go back to where we were before. If you look at this particular one here, can you see that this place will show you pages you have on your website, and then it will also show you a quicker way to add a new page. If I want to add a new page, I will just quickly click on add a new page. From here, without going back to WordPress, I can easily do that. Instead of going back here to click on pages, add page and all of that, I will quickly do that here in Elementor. You can see this particular device icon here. This is desktop, this is tablet, this is mobile. So whenever you design your web page, you want to be sure that they are responsive. I don't know if you have heard about responsive design. You want to make sure that people who are using laptops can access your website. You want to be sure that people who are using mobile phones can access your website and it looks good on both platforms. Can you see that if I put the tablet mode, this thing looks different? It compresses, like it reduces. The desktop one is wide. Let me go to mobile. This is how your mobile phone looks like. So you have to make everything appear good. Can you see it? So if you don't make it look good, this is how it will look, and it will not look nice. So you will design differently for desktop, you will design differently for mobile. I mean, whatever design you do, you will come here. Like if I want to optimize this particular thing now, I'll have to reduce this text on mobile, but on desktop I will leave it like this. But on mobile I cannot leave it like this because it looks big. So what I will do is to reduce this size, reduce all of this, customize them to look much more better. That's basically what you will do here. That is it. Then you come here. This is a checklist of these ones. You don't need them. This is just what Elementor has actually put up for you. Add your logo, what you're supposed to do, set up your global fonts and all of that. those things are not necessary. Then Elementor shows you what is new, what they have added to Elementor. This is not really necessary, you won't be needing them. Then you have an important feature here to find anything you want. If there's anything you want to search, this is where you do it. Then this is another important factor here. This particular structure is called the navigator. This will help you to navigate any element, because when you start adding things here, they will start piling up. At the time, you won't be able to find anything. For you to find it, you will click on the navigator. So let me quickly refresh this page now. I just refreshed the page. Sometimes if you're working with Elementor and you encounter some difficulties, what you do is just to refresh. But before you refresh, make sure you hit the publish button so that the changes you've made will be saved. So I was saying something about the navigator. This is the navigator. If you look at the navigator, it shows us that we only added one container here, and this is the container. So if I want to duplicate this container, what I will do is just to click here and right click on duplicate. All right, I can also copy this container. Just click on this center line where I'm clicking now, then right click on your mouse, copy. When you copy it, you can come here, right click again, paste it. Can you see that you can paste it multiple times? All right, so I just want to show you around before we start designing fully on this page. That is that. Then if you want to see what changes you have made on your web page, you will use this icon here, which is the preview changes. It shows you how your website looks like. So if I click on it, it will open a new tab and show me what we have done. Can you see? So it's showing me, look at it, it's showing me in real time what we have done at the back end. All right, this is the back end where we are working, but this is the front end that customers will see. Customers will not see where we are working, or visitors will not see this back end where we are designing, but they will see the front end, the finished product. So that is what it looks like. We go back, then if you click on this drop down, you can see that you can save this as a draft. If you're still working, you can save it as a draft and come back to it later. You can save this page as a template and reuse it. So in one of my videos, I will show you how to save a web page as a template so that you can use it. You can also use it for another client. You can also view this page. We've talked about it, which is the preview. You can also click, if you click on it, it will open in a new tab and show you what your page looks like. It is the same thing with the preview option or feature. All right, that is that about the interface of Elementor. As we work or as we keep designing, you will understand much more better. So let me quickly show you how to design in real time. So let's say you want to start designing a website. What is the first thing you will do as soon as you land on Elementor? Right, this is how the whole interface looks like, having discussed or showed you around. So I want to quickly show you. The first thing you have to do is just to create your container. Websites are nested in containers. They have to be in a box. A container is a box. So I will drag this container here, drop it here. All right, can you see that I've dragged this container here? So what should I do? If you want to use a background image for your website, that is fine. So you can click on it, and then we want to style it. We want to make changes to this particular container here. Do you want this container to be a flexbox or a grid? If you want to make it a grid, can you see that it has become a grid? If you don't want to make it a grid, just leave it the way it is. If you want to align things inside this container, you can use this horizontal direction. Whatever you put here will be going horizontally. But if you use this row, this particular column, this is the column, you will see that whatever you're putting in this container will be in vertical orientation. So let me put it into practice. Let's say I drag this text, put it in this container. Let's say I drag what again? I drag this image again. I drag it here. If I go back to container, if you want to always go back to the container, just click on the container here. Let's say I want everything in this container to be in row. Can you see? You will not have text here. You have image here. But if I make it column, this one will be up, this one will be down. That is what it means. Then you have this again. Most of the times you'll be using just these two, and this one is also column reversed. You want the text to be down and then this one to be up, or you want this row, you want this one to be this side. You understand? So it's just for you to experiment and to know what you want, or to find what suits what you want. So I want to put it this way. You have justify content. Justify content simply means, how do you want this content to stay? Do you want them to start from the beginning? Do you want them to be in the middle? Do you want this one to start from the end? Do you want the space between the two elements in this? Please, you will not understand it immediately, but with time, as you keep experimenting, you will understand this better. You have align items. Okay, how do you want these items to be aligned? Do you want it to start from the top? Do you want them to be at the center? Do you want the... Sometimes this is confusing. Justify content and align items seem confusing, but with time you understand it. So I just want to show you how this is done. I want to quickly delete this image. Right click on delete. I want to give this particular column or this container a background color. So just click on container, click on style. Remember I told you style, under style, that you are to, just like beautify whatever you have. This time around we don't have a text widget, we have a container. Under background type, you can choose classic. Classic means you are choosing one color. Then you have gradient. Gradient means you are choosing two colors. Then this is a video. Let's say you want to put a video in the background. This is where you will click. If you click on it, it will ask you to enter a YouTube video link here, and you will be able to do all of that. You'll be able to have a video at the background. I will make a separate video on how to do that. Then you can also put up a slideshow. You can add images that move and slide. I will also make a separate video on that. I don't want this video to be too long. I don't want to bore you. I just want to explain things to you. Let's start with the classic, which is the color. We want to add a background color here, which is blue color. Can you see that when we added this color, there is no space here? So we want to add a space to this container so that there will be enough space here. You go to advanced. Remember, advanced is for adding space. This time around, we're not going to add margin, because margin is the space outside. We want to add padding, which is the space inside this blue color. So I want to add 40. So there's something I want to teach you here. For you to add padding and margin, look at this place, link value together. If you leave this on like this, it means that whatever value you add or whatever number you add here, if I add 60 here, everywhere will be 60. This is top, this is top, this is right, this is bottom, this is left, and that is what you have here. You have top, you have right, you have bottom, you have left. So this is complete. But then if I remove this, that is on link, it simply means that you're going to add these things separately. So if I add 100 here, can you see that top is not bigger than left? Left is just what? 60. Right is 60. So if I add bottom again, 100, can you see top and bottom now 100, but left and right they have 60. So I just want to show you how to make individual changes. So there are times you don't want everywhere to be the same size, or just change it individually. So let me put this one 50. I put top and bottom 50. Then this one I put 15. What? 15. So now we have this. We want to drag another element here. So let's quickly drag another element. Let's say we want to drag a button here. Let me look for a button. I will actually put a button here. Drag a button and keep here. So can you see that here? Can you see where our button is? Do you know why our button is here? Then now that we have added a button, can you see that we need to customize the button? So if you have a link you want to add, let's say if you click on that button, where do you want this button to go? Let's say www.faithamole. So I want you to go to my website. This is where you add it. Then what do you want to be written on the button? Here it says click here. I want to change it and say get started. Get started. This is where you change it. Then can you see that our button does not look good? This is not what we want. We want to do what? We want to style it. Let's go to style. Click on style. How do you want this button to appear? We want it to be center. That is, the text inside this button to be center. Then typography, like I said earlier, you need to click on this pencil icon. You want to select a font color. Let's leave it to Roboto. What size do you want this text here to have? Let's say 16. Can you see? If you add 20, the text will be very big. If I want to leave it to 16 or 18, I always love 18. So do you want this text to be bold? That is the font weight. You want to keep it at 700, which is bold. That is absolutely fine. Then the line height, you can decide to choose the line height in EM. So you can actually put your EM, you can put like 1. That's fine. So now we have chosen our typography. What's the next thing to choose here? We want to choose the button color, the background color of the button and that of the text. They're not looking good. This, you can't separate this from the background. There is no contrast here. So you have the normal, the text. You want to change the text. You want to keep it, you want to make it white. All right. But then for the button background, we want to change the color. This is the background color. Click on it. We want to make it is black. Okay, let's give it green color. Okay, so let's give it green color. Can you see? Then if you look at here, you will see that on hover, if you hover around this button, there is no color, it doesn't change. So we click on hover. We want a situation whereby if I hover around it, it gives me another color. The text color will remain white. I want it to remain white, but then I want the background color to be what? Red. So if I hover around, can you see? If I hover around it, the text color white, but background has changed to red. So that is what I want. And I want this button to animate when I click on it. This is hover. You don't need all of this unless if you want to set the border. That is the border around this. Can you see there is a border that is red here? So let me change it. I can decide to make it black. If you want to change border color, this one is border color. So we come to hover animation. I want this button to shrink when I hover around it. Can you see? It's moving. That's what I want. So that is basically that. And then the next thing you want to do is, if you want this your button to have border line, you can choose solid. I've talked about it before. Then the border width is 1, or let's say, let's give it 2. So we want to make it 2. Can you see that it is thicker now? If you make it 20, can you see the border width is very big, so we don't want such. You just want to keep it to either 1 or 2. It's fine. So what color do you want it to have? You choose it here. I want the color to be black. I'm choosing black. Can you see? The border radius. How do you want this border radius to look like? So if I put something like 8, you see that the button is no longer round again. Can you see? But if I give it 60, can you see that it has become round? So this is where you change all of that. So if you prefer to give it independent or different border radius, you can unlink the value here and make changes to any side of it. Alright, then the padding is the space inside this button. Can you see that this text here has space on the left hand side, but the top and bottom do not have enough space? So I want to put what? 32 here. Can you see that there is enough space now, but it's not looking good? So I want to unlink this. I want to give them individual space. I want to give it 16, top and bottom 16. Why? Left and right. Left and right we have 32. That is what I have done. I've customized the button. That is basically how to go about it. So any element you put here, you change it. Now the text, I want to make changes to the text. I want to give it a font family of Roboto is okay, but I want to make this 20. Can you see? You change it. Then as soon as you do that, you can change the color to white, because there is no contrast between the black color and the blue color. Can you see? Then let me talk about this container again. Can you see that when you click on this container, let's go to layout. Can you see that we have direction? Do you see that the direction we have set here is row? It is moving this way, but we want it to move up to down. We give it this. Can you see? This is basically where to do it. I think you should understand this now. Then between this and this, how do you want them to appear in this container? That is justified. It is starting from up here, right? Then if you want to give them to the center, they will be in the center. Then if you want them to move here, though you will not experience much now until we start working, you will not experience the difference. You will see it working. Then the alignment of this particular element in this particular container, can you see? If I click here, both of them have moved to the left. If I do like this, they move to the right. Then if I do like this, they have moved to the right. That is what we call align items. The item in this container, where do you want them to stay? Let's keep them in the middle. Then justify is just the space between them. So if I put this like this, both of them will have space here and space here. But if I put space in between, there will be a space in between and in between this one. So with time, you will understand it. Then the space between this text and this particular button here within this container is the gap here. Let me remove it and put 0. Can you see? If you put 0 here, both of them now have gone themselves together. They have merged themselves together. We don't like it. Let me put like 30. Can you see that there is a space between this? This is where you change it. I will make a separate video explaining this. If you want to wrap this around, you can do this, but this is not that necessary now until you understand the basics of how to design here. So let's say I want to add an image here. I will click on add element again. I click on here. I will click on this image. We want to upload an image here. So let me quickly upload this. Okay. So can you see? But this image is big. So if you want to reduce the width of the image as it is big, click on style. This is the width. We want to reduce it. Can you see? This is where you slide it to reduce it. Then that is the, if you want to change the border radius, which is the edge of this, you're going to give it 60. It will become round. Can you see? This is where you do that. Let's say I want to give it 20. Can you see that the edge is round? Edge is round. That is what border radius does. So whenever you see border radius, just know that it is the edges that you are working on. So this is basically how to do it. So let's say I want to duplicate this. I can just do like this, duplicate this. Can you see? I've duplicated it. Then I want to give this one a different background color. Just click on this second one. Come to style. Instead of blue, so we're going to use another color. Let's give it this color. Can you see? This is basically how to do it. You can duplicate it again. You can duplicate or just right click it, copy, come here and do what? Paste. That is that. You can use it anytime. Let me quickly show you how to choose another column. Let's say you just want to choose a 2-column system. We just used a 1-column system. Just tap on this plus. When you click on plus, so you will come here, you will have 2 options to choose between flexbox and grid. Flexbox and grid. So let's say we want to go with flexbox, the normal one. Can you see that this is a 1-column, but this one is going, the arrow shows that it is horizontal. Then this is a 2-column. This one is a 2-column as well. This is a 4-column. That means you have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. So let me choose the 2 and show you how it looks like. Can you see that this column now, instead of having one before, you have this here? So we can drag an image and put inside this column. Then we can drag a text, a heading text, put here, drag button again. Let's drag button again and put inside here. Okay, let me put a button here. Then I can drag another thing here. Let's drag a text, a normal text, and put here. Can you see that by the right hand side we have an image? Let me put an image, put up an image here. So we have this image, we have a text here. We can copy a text and put here. Can you see? So I want to add a space in this container. Remember what I told you, if you want to add a space, come to advanced. Then the space we're going to add is what? Padding, because it is inside. We want to add 20 all around. Can you see that we have added? This particular image is not on this line. So if I remove this, let me show you the change that occurred here. Can you see there is no more space here? But if I add 20, there is a space here. And let me unlink and add 50 up, 50 bottom. Can you see that the top has 50, the bottom here has 50? the left space here has 20, this side has 20. So you can decide to customize this text and say, welcome to my website. Welcome to my website. So this one, then your button, you can always customize. I've said it before. Hire me. Then you can go to the style and choose background color. The background color of this button, we want to give it red. Then I can decide to say I want this button to grow. When I click on it, you see it's growing out. So this is how our web page looks. Let's say I want to give this container a background image or a background color. We're starting with background color. In my next video, I will show you how to use a background image in this video. So let's quickly choose a color here. I just want to give it a light color. I don't want a dark color. It's always good to use a dark color to some extent. Can you see? So if I click on this container here, can you see that in this container there is another container here, one container here, there is another container here. So we're working with container system. Can you see? So this is the left container, this is the right container. The left container has a text, a headline, and a button. The right container here has only image. If I click on this container, I want everything here to be in the middle. I will justify content. Click on justify content. Can you see that it has come to the middle? That's why I said these things you will not understand them immediately, but with time you will start understanding them as you're working. This is where you use justify. So if I use this one, it will come to the bottom. If I use this one, it will be go to the top. But then let's leave it in the middle because we don't want this one to be at the top. Just want them to match what we are seeing here. This is this. Can you see that the first layout, which is our hero section, is now ready? Let's say I want to do second one. I click on this icon again. This time around we want to use the 3-column layout. You will not see that this is how this thing has 1, 2, 3 columns. So we want to add a background image here. But first of all, let's add space inside it. Let me add 20 first. Then I click on top 50. I always like the top and bottom to have the same thing. So can you see that this is this? Then we want to add a background image. What do? We click on this column. Here we are not using classic again. We're not using gradient again. We're not using video again. We want to add what? An image. I will quickly click on classic. Then instead of color now, we're going to choose an image. Let me quickly add this image and we'll have a background image. Can you see? We now have a background image here. So if you look at here now, under the background image, you can see that you have options to customize this. We have, do you want this thing to be full? Yes, keep it full. Then position of this image, how do you want it to be? We want it to be what? Center. Just select center. Then attachment, if you want scroll, if you want fixed. If I choose scroll now, it means people can scroll. But if I choose fixed, you can see that the image will just sit one place while you scroll up and down. So this is where you do that. I want to use scroll. Then do you want this image to repeat itself? Click on no repeat. Then the size, we want to make it what? Cover. Whenever you're using a background image, always make it cover. But then if you write something on top of this place, you will not see it. Can you see that if I put a text here? Let me get a text and put it here in this place. Can you see that you cannot see this text? Let me change the color of the text to white. I come to here. Let me put it. Let me give it white. Can you see that you cannot see the difference? So what do we do in this situation? That is where you use an overlay. An overlay will help you make this particular background either lighter or darker so that you will be able to place something on it and it will be readable. That's readability. So just click on this background. When you click on it, under you will see that this is background. If you click on it, the same thing will appear. Just click on this thing so that you will see background overlay. Click on background overlay. So we want to click on background type, classic. We want to add something on top of this image so that when we add it, it will be easy for somebody to read this text. So what do? We want to add color, not an image this time, and I want to add a black color. Can you see? I've added a black color. It is coming up, but it has not fully come up. What do? You come to opacity, scroll down, increase opacity. Can you see? The more you increase it, the more there is black overlay added to it. This is good. Let's just leave it at 0.8. Let me leave it at 0.8. Can you see that I can actually add anything on top of this place and see it? Can you see? So that's basically what happens. So in this column, you can add anything here. Let's say I want to add an image in this column. I'll click on this add element. I add an image. Let me select an image. Let me add this. But this image is very big, so let me reduce it. Just reduce it like this. So this is what I want. Then on the right hand side, I want to add a button. I want to copy this button. Just copy, click on this, right click on it, copy, right click on this place, paste. Can you see? I want to also copy the text here. I want to drag a text. So Elementor is flexible. You can copy things, you can paste. Let me add this again, and then I change the color. Go to style, go to color, text color, change it to white. I can copy this particular button again. Right click. If you want to copy, just right click on that thing, click on copy. Go to another one, click on right click, click on paste. Can you see? This is what it looks like. Though it is not looking good because we have not started designing, but when we start designing, you understand it better. So if you want to save this, you do what? You publish. We have done background image. So let's say in this one, I want to choose a one column. Then I want to teach you, let's add a space again, because space is very important. I want to add 20. I want to give top. It's my usual method. I'm going to teach you my own personal method of doing all of this. This time around, we want to add a background video. So let's go here. We want to add a double gradient. So let's do that gradient this time around. That's, I want to have multiple colors on the background. So the first color, I want to select the first color, red. Then the second color, we want to choose something like blue. Yeah, so let's choose some. Can you see? Then if you come to this place, you will set the location for a slide location. Okay, we want the location. Where do you want it to be? Then the second, this is the primary color. The first one we added is the primary color. The second one is the secondary color. Then you have the type. Do you want this gradient to be a linear gradient or a radiant gradient? See, this is radiant. This color will be at the center. But for linear, one will be at the top, one will be at the bottom. Now you use the angle feature. You want to set how this particular thing appears. If you slide, can you see that this color is now at the right hand side, this one is now at the left hand side? You can slide it. You can just use this feature, this angle feature, to set the way you want it to be. So let's say this is how I want it to be. Fine and good. I'll just do what? I drag what again? I can drag a text, can drag a video, a YouTube video. I want to add a YouTube video here. So I just quickly go to YouTube, youtube.com. I want to get just any video. So I will copy the link here and let's go back to where we were. So come here and paste your YouTube video. So before you paste it, make sure it is on YouTube, as you can see. So I've added this YouTube video. Then this YouTube video is very wide because we did not add a container. So before I add this video, you can add a container inside the container. I think I forgot to talk about that. You can add a container inside the container. So I will drag this YouTube video here. Just click on this icon. Hey, feature. I want to put it here. Then this particular container, we want to reduce the width of this container. I just added in. Just come to click on the container, come to width. You drag it down. Drag it down. Can you see? You can drag it down. But then where do we want this to be? Under this container, I want the layout to be what? I want this to be aligned to the center. So we have aligned it to the center. So this is the YouTube I've added here. Let's say I want to add the button again. I can copy this button, right click, copy, come here and paste it here. Then this button, we want this button to be at the center. Can you see that it's at the left hand side? It's not looking good. Click on style, click on center. It is now at the center. But the background color and that of the button looks the same. So there is no difference, there is no contrast. You have to change button color. I click on it, go to background. I want to make it black. Can you see? So these are things you will need to learn. In my subsequent videos, I will teach you the elements of web design and the web design principles, where you will learn contrast, how to make things appear different on different layouts, on different backgrounds. Can you see that we have added a YouTube video here, and we can decide to also add this YouTube video as a background video. So let me quickly do that. I will create another container. So this time around, I'm going to use this one column. We want to go to, let me add a space again. I add padding. This time around, I just want to add 50 all around. Then I click on style because I want to add video as our background. So let's just use video as our background image this time around. So paste the video link here. Can you see? It's fetching this. So this is how it looks like. It is starting from 10. Then you set where you want it to start from. Let's say I want it to start from 15. That's if the video is up to 15. Or let me use 10. So this is where I want it to start from. So this particular layout, so we have pasted the video here. Can you see that the video is playing at the background, but it is covered because this particular container is small. So what do? Click on the container, come to layout. Remember, layout is where you set how your container appears. We want to use a minimum height. So use the minimum height. Can you see? Just drag it so that it will come down. Can you see? So if I want to add a text here, let's say I want to add a text on top of this background now, you won't be able to see the text. Can you see? You can't differentiate the text from the background video. What do? Remember when I mentioned overlay? You are still going to add overlay to this container. What do? I want to actually change this color to white. Text color to white. This video is getting long and I don't like it. I will actually finish up from here. I just want to show you how to do all of this. Click on this container. We want to add an overlay. Click on style. Just go to background overlay under style. We want to add an overlay. This time around, we're going to select what? Black as usual. You can use any color for overlay. You can use any color at all. Let's use black. Then, but this is where the magic happens. You use the opacity to set it. Either make it darker or lighter. Alright, can you see that if I add any text here now, you'll be able to read it while the video is playing at the background. Let's quickly bring this into the middle. Click on the column or click on the container, go to layout, justify, go down, align to the center. Let me quickly copy this button again and add it to this place. I'm just adding this because we don't have anything we're designing, but when we start designing, you understand. So this column, I want everything here to be in the middle. We'll use justify content. Can you see where it's useful here? So let me publish this so that we can see it in real time, how it looks like. Click on this preview changes. So let's see how it looks like when a customer visits our website. Can you see? Can you see? This is how it looks like. This is the background image playing while the customer is reading what it says. If you click on this button, it will bring you here because we did not add a link to it. Okay, let's quickly add a link to here. So we come here and type www.faithamole. Let me save it or publish it. So as soon as it is published, let's go to our page to see how it looks like. So let me refresh the page. Anytime you publish something on WordPress, go to the front end. You will see how it looks like. Can you see? So if I click on this hire me now, it will take me to faithamole.com. So can you see that's taking me to this website? So that is basically how to design a web page in Elementor. So in my next video, we are going to design a full landing page using Elementor so that you understand how this thing. So can you see that we have not even started, but our page looks somehow good. All right. So if you want to optimize all of this on tablet, you can see this is how it looks like. Then on mobile, you will see that it might not be looking good, though it's okay, but we still need to do something to it. So you can see, you can optimize it. When we start building a real website, I will show you how to do all of this. My next video, I will also show you how to design a full landing page. This is just an introductory part that is exposing you on how to use Elementor for the very first time, just like I was trying to onboard you and show you around. In my next video, we will design a full landing page that looks good so that you will know how it is on. See you in my next video.